What's going on, y'all? As you see by clicking on the video, we have done it. The return of Champions League football to the Emirates goes picture perfect. 4-0 victory over PSV. Kept the clean sheet. And hey, we did it. We did it. We went into the Champions League, and it's our first time being back. There's questions how are these players going to deal with playing multiple games in a week, and all these types of questions coming out. There's questions, can Bukayo Saka do it on the Champions League stage? We know that he was great for Arsenal so far. We know he's been good in international play for England. But what will be the case when he goes and plays in the Champions League? How will he look? Will he be able to elevate his play to the standards of the competition? And he did just that. Bukayo Saka earned the FOTMOB Player of the Match. Not sure if he's going to be the official Player of the Match from the Champions League, because you look at FOTMOB and Julian Alvarez was the Man City Player of the Game for yesterday in their game, but for the Champions League, at least in Fantasy Champions League, Rodri ended up getting Player of the Match. But Bukayo Saka, two great contributions to the team. Got an assist, got a goal, and did his thing. Really shined as one of, if not the best players in the world. Obviously, we've kind of known for a while that Saka's been phenomenal, but we needed to see it at this stage, and he eliminated any questions, any concerns of anybody that had any, and it was beautiful to see. Talking about beautiful to see, we did not have Gabriel Martinelli there. Obviously, he went down last week in the game against Everton. But the good news is Leandro Trossard did great. He did phenomenal. He also contributed with an assist and a goal. Trossard obviously has been one of our better players in finding the back of the net in recent times. He obviously got the winner against Everton. He ended up getting a goal in this game. He got an assist. Trossard's been in great form. He had a little bit. He had a great preseason, and then he kind of they were trying to figure out how to get him into games, and had a little bit of a slow start. But that Everton game, he went in and made the decisive goal. This game, he gets to start in a Champions League game, a big game, first game back in the Emirates in a while, and Trossard ends up doing just fine. Great performance from him. Gabriel Jesus, he did end up coming off. A lot of these players ended up coming off early, to be honest with you. But Gabriel Jesus, he ended up picking up a goal. I think he probably could have got one or two more if conditions were a little bit better. It was a very rainy day. Some poor touches here and there from Jesus inside the box that I thought if it was a little bit less wet, that he could have had maybe two goals in this game. Jesus had a lot of opportunities. He was finding a lot of space. I thought he looked great in his first start back, and it's not really his fault that at times in the box that he was having poor touches, because I mean the weather was not on their side. It was pouring the whole game, and for them to even get 4 goals is actually pretty good. Jesus, though, I think he's going to be a big factor in our Champions League run. He obviously is finding space. He's obviously creating opportunities. He only came away with 1 goal. Think it could end up being more in better conditions. Loved what I saw from Gabriel Jesus in this game. Kai Havertz, got to show him his props. Didn't contribute in any sort of assist or goal type of way. But Kai Havertz, I thought, played fairly well. He played the full game, 93% on his passes, helped create some chances. I think he created. Let's see how many chances he created. He created 1 chance. Okay, 1 big chance. He had a nice pass. So really, it looked like he might shoot it, but it was kind of just like a chip pass, and unfortunately, we weren't able to put it in the back of the net. But Havertz, he looked very good in this game. I liked what I saw out of him. He looked better than what he has been. He looked like he's taking it serious, and I can't say that we made a wrong decision in playing him and starting him, because I think he did pretty solid. Declan Rice, once again, phenomenal performance from Declan Rice. He did fairly solid there. as that kind of defensive midfielder type of role, but he's helping out, getting up the field. He's kind of the voice of reason within the team. He's the guy that's kind of like the vocal leader on the field. Odegaard, speaking about leaders, our captain, he also had an assist and a goal. I mean, everybody was getting involved. Odegaard had a great game. He absolutely deserved it. Obviously, being our captain, he deserved it 100%. First guy that came off though, Zinchenko. Um, he was solid. He was okay. Tomiyasu came in for him, and Tomiyasu I thought did pretty solid too. But I mean, he didn't do anything bad. He didn't do anything great there. Ben White ended up getting a yellow card. But the wing back positions, I'm not too concerned about. And then you got our center backs. You got Saliba, you got Gabriel. Both of those guys absolutely did great. Saliba, once again, phenomenal performance. But outside that yellow card that we have from Ben White, I think we are pretty set for a pretty good run here. I think we should top the group. You look at Sevilla and Lens. They drew, I believe, at 1-1. And we dominated. We dominated the team that I think probably would have gave us the most concerns in our group. I thought PSV could be a tricky game. Obviously, you still got to play them one more time. But I think we can easily top this group now. Now that we've seen what they can do against PSV, I think they can do it against Lens. I think they can do it against Sevilla. So as long as there's no more yellows from Ben White and potential leading into a suspension and playing a player down now, then I think we'll be fine. But obviously, stay away from the red cards, stay away from the yellows, stay away from hurting yourself even more. Obviously, we're down already. Jurrien Timber. Obviously, we're down Thomas Partey, who should be back, I believe, relatively soon. Not super far down the line like Timber. Timber isn't supposed to be back until January, I believe. But we should see Partey play here in the group stage at some point if he is fit. But for the most part, I was pretty impressed. I was pretty impressed from what they did. But just don't hurt yourselves. Stay away from the yellows. Stay away from the reds. Don't get cards. And we're going to be fine. We're going to be fine. But like I said, Tomiyasu off the bench, he did pretty solid. He did a phenomenal job, I believe. Reiss Nelson, bravo to Reiss Nelson. Reiss Nelson did his thing. He absolutely was kind of like that spark plug we were talking about. We've been talking about it when it comes to Reiss Nelson. When you get him in the game, I think he does have the ability to flip the switch and really get the Arsenal side something when he gets in the game. It gets the Arsenal side ready to go. It gets them motivated. It seems like it's a different Arsenal squad. He's in there trying to make crosses into the box. He's in there taking defenders one-on-one. He's in there just creating some havoc for the defenders. And when he gets in there and does that, it opens stuff up. So that's how he gets an assist in this game. Absolutely great performance from Reiss Nelson there coming in for it. I'll say of one of our other subs, or one of our final two subs, for a little bit later. But Fabio Vieira, I think he deserved to be in this game. Obviously, he's been playing great. He's been doing his thing the last few games for us. Should have had an assist last game at Everton. Unfortunately, did not count because of the Eddie Nketiah offsides. But pretty solid there from him. Vieira, once again, pretty solid. They actually played him. I believe he subbed in as Saka's backup, or his cover in this game, because he was playing out there on that wing there. And then you got Jorginho coming in. He did phenomenal. He came in, obviously, for, I believe, Declan Rice. And obviously Jorginho has not led us astray so far this season. He's kind of been the most if you need some consistency in that team, in that midfield, get Jorginho in there. He's been phenomenal for us this season. He only got to play about 14 minutes in this game, but he looked great when he did it. There was no errors or anything from Jorginho's side, that at least that I can pick out. And then we had the season debut in the Champions League. He did not play in the Premier League, but he's playing in the Champions League. Emile Smith Rowe, he is back on the pitch. It's great. It's great. Emile actually, he didn't get the assist. He didn't get the goal. But he was part of that lead up that for the Reece Nelson assist. I thought Emile Smith Rowe looked solid in this game. He was kind of being physical with them there when he first got in. I like that. I want to see some more Emile Smith Rowe. We'll see if we get to see it here in the North London Derby coming up this weekend against Tottenham Hotspur. But we will get to see what's going on here with this lineup come I believe Sunday. Is Sunday when we play Tottenham? I believe it's Sunday. But we'll see what Mikel Arteta can do. We'll see what happens with this lineup. What changes. Obviously, North London Derby, you expect the big names. You expect Saka, you expect Odegaard, you expect Declan Rice, you expect Saliba, Gabriel, probably Ben White. Zinchenko, maybe not. You might go Tomiyasu, not sure. And then I would imagine somebody like a Kai Havertz. You could be Fabio Vieira, but I think Kai Havertz could end up starting the Spurs game. Surprisingly, no Nketiah in this game. Even though we did pull Jesus off the game, off the field. Surprisingly, we did not get Nketiah. But we will see. He could possibly play there against Spurs. So we could be even looking at Jesus on the wing against Spurs. Maybe that's what they're looking at. I'm not sure. But we'll see. And then obviously the most talked about thing when it comes to Arsenal right now is the goalie, the goalkeepers discussion. What's going on? Is it Ramsdale? Is it Raya? Raya started Champions League. Ramsdale's been starting Premier League. Raya's first start was against Everton. He's only had 2 starts now for us, and one was in the Champions League. Are we giving up on Ramsdale? I don't think so. I really don't. I don't think so. I think Spurs is going to go back to Ramsdale. I think that we're really going to explore this two keeper situation, and give it our best shot here, and try to keep both fresh and both ready to go, because a lot of different games require different things. And I mean, we saw it in this game that we were able to get up and down the field with Raya a few times, kicking the ball down the field, opening stuff up. But not every game is going to need that. In some games, you're not going to want to push the pace as fast as you did here in this game. We'll see what ends up happening. But we'll see. But like I said, for the most part, I was very impressed with this team. They went out there 4-0, did their thing. PSV, sorry that y'all came and lost 4-0. You'll have a chance to return the favor at home later this season. But for now, we get the bragging rights. And like I said, stay away from the yellow cards, stay away from the red cards. And if we do that, I think we'll be fine. Granted, I don't know what could happen for injuries. Hopefully nobody gets hurt for us. But if this is the squad we're running with, if this is the squad that we can consistently have throughout the Champions League, I think we're definitely going to top the group stage of it. But Ben White, you got to be careful now. You're already on 1 yellow. You got to stay calm. Don't get more yellows in this group stage. Stay away from them. Don't get suspended. No reds in any of these games. And hopefully we all stay healthy, because obviously Martinelli just went down against Everton. Obviously we had a scary Gabriel over the international break with Brazil. But I mean, obviously Partey went down too. I believe that was in training though. So we're gonna need all these guys to be healthy, because it's not till January that we're able to open up the window again and get some more depth into this team. Urian Timber's not coming back anytime soon. We'll get some help here soon with Thomas Partey, but we need to stay healthy. We need to not get cards. We need to make sure that everybody that can play is playing, because you don't want to have a situation where you're relying on people that you don't want to rely on. You don't want to have to do something crazy and call upon like a Ruel Walters to come and start a Champions League game because of injuries. I wouldn't mind if he came in and he was in a backup role, or even if he came in and started Prem games, I wouldn't be upset at that. I really wouldn't. But you need to make sure that you got the depth. You need to make sure you got the cover to really compete, because I think we got a good shot at this year. I think we got a good shot at it. We got a good draw in the group stage. We shouldn't be getting grouped, and we should be able to make a good run for it. So, like I said, just make sure we're on the field. Make sure everybody that can be on the pitch is on the pitch, and we're going to be great. We're going to be great. So, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.